Um, the whole idea that you have all of these tribes of Israel that are so different, and each one of those tribes has a different motivation. And you imagine some of them saying, "I'm not going across the river. I don't care what you're talking about." You got another group that's saying, "Oh, let's go back to Egypt. Things were a lot better there." And then you've got, some of those who genuinely said, "There's no life for us on this side of the river. God promised us this." And so then to start to pick out of that narrative pieces that we could connect. And that's really what our staff work did. We started to say, okay, what does it look like to be on this side of the river? And we immediately connected that to, continuing to do the same things we've always done, and started to build in various ways a narrative around that started with the bishop's address where he talked about the 4 B's, the killer bees as he called them, and then said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot do business as usual." And to stay on this side of the river, using that image, means that we're doing business as usual. Our future, the future that God calls us to, is on the other side of the river. And then to start using our collective imaginations to talk about, what's going to be, what's on the other side of the river. And the more we got into it, then the more detailed it became, and we started reading more of the scripture, and it was, okay, the next narrative is about them actually crossing the river. And dwelling in the Word was so helpful around that, because then, the lens shifted to that particular piece of the narrative and saying, okay, so what does it mean to stand in the river? And there's so many different imaginative pieces that you can take with that. What do we say to the people who are saying, I don't really want to cross the river? Where's hope in that? Well, the hope is in that even though you're on this side of the river, that at some point you recognize that there is no future for you on this side of the river, that the only future that's viable and vital is on the other side of the river. So I think it was just coming up with that image, and then just letting it dwell in us. And as staff really started to resonate with that model, saying, okay, yeah, this is a model that we can present to our congregations. And I think the most important thing was it was a hopeful model.